CharmHealth is an EHR that has been serving the needs of single doc and independent practices for a long time. The company is putting more effort now into building features and infrastructure to better support larger practices. I'm about to sit down with Venky Chellappa. He's the Vice President of Sales and Marketing at CharmHealth because I wanted to find out more of what they're doing for these larger customers. This video is sponsored by CharmHealth, but they did not know any of the questions that I'm about to ask ahead of time. Let's get to it. Venky, welcome to the program.
Hey, thank you, Colin, for inviting me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm excited to sit down with you because I am very interested to learn a lot more about CharmHealth's push into the enterprise space. But before we get there, Venky, can you just give us the quick overview of your role and a little bit about CharmHealth?
So my name is Venky Chellappa, and I manage the sales and marketing, and I also do now business development. And I'm one of the early startup member. Like I started with the Pramila, the company. I was number 2 employee of the company, so I've been with the company for some time. And CharmHealth, when we started, it was a patient portal, just a non-profit kind of a patient portal app. Mm-hmm. And then based on the demand from the doctors, hey, this software looks good. Then she said she had an idea, Pramila had an idea of making CharmHealth as an EMR. Then slowly we started building and a lot of customer feedback and talking to the customer, we built out over a period of time successful, I would say, a fully integrated software platform for the medical offices. Starting from now, you can pretty much, whatever you want for a medical office, we got from calendar all the way to the billing, patient portal, custom portal. You ask for anything pretty much, AML inside, all the bells and whistles are there now.
It's been fun actually to watch CharmHealth. We know you folks grew up kind of really catering to that small, independent, single doc practices, and of course, the 2-3 doc practices. But what I was very interested in hearing while I'm here at CharmLot 2024 is, you got up on stage and we're talking about some of the new enterprise features that you're coming out with. And I think that's pretty interesting that you're now moving into that area of the market, into multiple physicians and maybe even multiple sites. So I'm interested in exploring that with you. So my first question really is, why go to enterprise at all? Like, what was the driver? Is it because your existing customers have now grown into enterprise clients, or is it because you really want to capture new customers who are already enterprise sized?
I think, as we said, both, but here's a subtle twist here. I think in the beginning, there are there are many players, like the top tier players, the Epics and stuff like that, and then the others. But if you look at the ambulatory market, none of them are for enterprise clients. They're even, I don't want to name names, but all of them are just like us, a little bit. They have put more sales, more support, and just build it out. And after 2020 and that time frame, the whole industry kind of changed with the telehealth, because before that, the prescription was a big deal. Paper prescription moved to controlled prescription, PDMP, yada, yada. So many different things came about. And so many doctors have become entrepreneurs too. They're doing all kinds of verticals because now I domain expertise, I can get the tech stack very cheap and very economically. So that's our big growth point. If you look at our inflection point around 2019, that time frame, we were selling telehealth before that, but it was not that much interest or appetite for that. But then it really took off. And then what happened was, as they continued to grow, these doctors are building hybrid practices across the state and so many things. And now the next phase is they are going with their marketing guys, they're going with their CRM guys, they are trying to integrate. I think the efficiency is the game for these verticals. And that's what started as thinking about this enterprise market. That's one thing. And then existing customers, a lot of those, when they want to switch out, they're always looking for another EMR, but then they look at, oh, this is another EMR. Like, what can you do for me? Because the reason I'm moving from my legacy EMR is because it's one box, then I have another vendor, another one. They are not talking to each other. So that's the two-prong, both of them. I think we learn from our customers, but we also now getting some, as we move along, we get from some other legacy switches that we felt there's an opportunity there.
Now, a lot of your customers, they've been with you quite a long time. Have you seen growth in your existing customers in terms of them adding physicians and adding practices and them growing? Is that one of the factors of why you're adding these enterprise functions?
Absolutely. I think that's one of the things. I think as they bring efficiency to the practice, they feel more confident adding people and growing, because there is opportunity there, but they always used to say, it's too many people in the system, too many people I need to hire. How do I bring the friction so that we'll be more productive? So that's why we built a lot of tools, like the internal tools we talked about, AML and all the settings and feature to customize, but still for them to grow like a verticals, like national verticals, like a sleep clinic or something, they need a lot more secret sauce on the front end. How do they bring their patients? How do they move them along? And I think, so we realized that the EMR itself can do so much, but there are other vendors that can do much better some of those applications. So our thinking was we should enable the end user to grow with us, and that's the reason they have not moved. And most of them also continue to grow because we have been continuing to upgrade ourselves as we move along.
Now, you were up on stage talking about some of the enterprise features that you're implementing into your platform. Can you talk to me about some of those? You mentioned 9. We don't have to go through all 9, but what are some of the big enterprise level features that you're adding into Charm's platform?
So this is a very good question. Again, one of the things that out of, we know we are a software consumer too. So when we look at this, whenever we buy a software, we say, okay, give me a sandbox for me to test it out. I want all our guys to go take a test drive and come through a discovery process and tell me what all it can do. First, understand what I'm doing so that you can tell me whether your system can do. So as it evolves, then we felt that's one piece that the out of the box is not going to enterprise solution is the way to go. The second piece is, if you're a bigger organization, 100, 200 people, it's very difficult to onboard them one at a time. So you need some kind of an onboarding sandbox for them to train. Like if I want to bring 100 people to my system, I need to have a process to put them on a sandbox or something, let them become proficient before I move to the production, especially in the medical software. You cannot go back and edit and delete software, chart notes and stuff like that to try out. And so that also we felt a lot of times when the customer was growing, oh, this is not doing this for me. And when we ask them, oh, this is all PHI compliant. We can't do this for you. So that's one of the reasons the sandbox for the user interface. I think only 1 or 2 top EMR vendors are offering that sandbox for. And then we added another sandbox for the developers. So the developers more like a sales partner who's proficient in this. When they are trying to sell the software, they are within the master account. We are giving 2 accounts. Like one is for the user interface to play that sandbox. The another one is the developer sandbox.
And you also mentioned that you're offering new other features as well. I think you mentioned continuous IT support and a few other things. Tell me about those.
Correct. So the 2 sandboxes are very good. The developer sandbox for a minute. What we are doing with the developer sandbox is we are giving all the API tools for them and the documentations and a single sign-on. So it's easy for them to sign into their own master account or the user account and do all the development. So it's a good transparency between the end user and the developer and to us. So we have three groups: the vendor, CharmHealth, the IT sales vendor, and then the end user. So what we figure out is it helps us to give the implementation time is much faster. They're able to implement much faster, efficient process. So because of that, so those are the 2 main features. But then if you go to the next layer, as you were asking, the IT support is the weekly check-ins we are giving to the enterprise clients and 24/7 premium support. So those things takes the anxiety out of this whole process, because they know when we go through the discovery process, we are meeting a team, the same guys are going to be there, or people are going to be there, they are sticking around, they are going to make sure the project goes on time. And then we also bring you to a partnership kind of approach. We don't treat you as a customer. We put you on the marketplace. We give you exposure to the startup ecosystem. So a lot of other things we also market. So multiple ways you can leverage the platform. And the final couple of things is we are probably one of the few companies about pricing. We are very transparent about the pricing. Even for this scenario, we are going to be very transparent about our pricing. We are going to, based on your usage metrics and your all those things like. And the last piece is we are in it for the long haul, so we understand your process and your business going to zig and zag kind of a thing. It's not going to take us. So you may want some feature today, and then 6 months from now you may move to a different, like Zoom. Instead of Zoom, you want a different vendor, for example. So all those things are inbuilt in this API. So it gives you a tremendous amount of flexibility. So if you remember in my talk, I said bring your ideas and build on CharmHealth Enterprise. So if you can sketch it out, and you think you need an EHR that can help you out, give us a shot.
Sounds like you're making your platform a lot more agnostic, right? You can plug and play different pieces, and you're going to work with them to plug and play those pieces.
Yes, we are absolutely agnostic, and then in the marketplace, and we do some custom integration within the software, like some of the vendors become marquee vendors, just so that for the smaller practices to out-of-the-box solution, but for a bigger enterprise, you don't want this, you can switch it out.
What's the biggest difference when you're dealing with an enterprise customer versus a single doc practice that you've encountered over your travels over the years?
I think the single doc practices, they want a very transparent value for their money. Whatever they want to be very clear about how much they're going to spend. All the tools are there. If some of their colleagues are using, they can recommend it. If Dr. A says, I'm liking it, I'm using it for 3 years, they'll make it work. And that's a very fast sales cycle. It comes from a referral. It's easy. They're talking to a couple of other doctors. They're EMRs. They go through some checklist. They like the salesperson, the cost. They sign up, but they rely heavily on our onboarding support because they are small practices. Mm-hmm. So that's where we have our onboarding team and support team and webinars, free webinars. We do all those things for them.
Right.
But for the enterprise, it's a different game because they know what they want. They have hired a consultant, sales guy, sales partners, reseller partners to go and shop around, look around, put together a big RFP. So it's a big discovery process. So it's a cultural fit, technology fit, and then referral. A lot of things come into play. So it's a discovery process, but you also learn from them. You can understand what they are trying to do, and I think we have enough experience now to offer them a solution. I think a lot of times if we can show the reseller partners, we have all the tools, you can do whatever you want. You are not going to rely on us for all those things. And we are giving you almost an open system with a lot of flexibility. Besides all, so the way in the enterprise and the difference between the regular software solution and the enterprise solution is as follows. Both of them have got all the tools, inbuilt tools, right? But the enterprise solution is going to have a lot more automation, a lot more external integration that is not available in the smaller feature. So that gives you, so you can go from a smaller startup and then you can go there. And the other reason we are doing the enterprise is also for a lot of the startups. The startups want to do an MVP very quickly. They have some money, they want to invest. Quickly, they want to scale up. And we offer them a good solution, reasonably good solution. They come, get their EMR, bring their developers, get their APIs, and then they can showcase their product.
So Venky, I don't think it'll be a surprise if I tell you that the EHR market, especially in the enterprise space, is pretty crowded already. What is it in your mind that's going to really set CharmHealth apart from those other existing incumbents?
It's an excellent question. I think that's the two ways we are going to differentiate ourselves is one, we are not a legacy company with that space. One, so we don't have a lot of old baggage. So that's one, it's a blessing for us. And the second thing is a lot of new business models have evolved, and there's a great opportunity for a different way of looking at it because it's not a B2C, it's not a B2B, it's kind of everything, whatever the customer wants. So it's a different game. So I can name names, but there are different verticals with different narrowly focused. But again, 4 doctors can come together and start very easily with not even $100,000. They can proof of concept. They can do their business. We have endocrinologists. We have sleep docs. We have allergy docs. All of them did this vertical very easily with us.
And remind everyone again, where can people go to learn more about CharmHealth?
It's charmhealth.com, www.charmhealth.com.
Excellent. Venky. Well, thank you so much for being on the program. It's been great having you.
Thank you, Colin. Appreciate your time. Thank you for inviting me.
Hey, I want to thank Venky for agreeing to come on camera with me and to share a little bit more behind the scenes about their push into larger practices. It's really nice to see a company evolve right alongside their clients. And in particular, I really appreciated the idea of the sandbox that Venky put forward so that customers can have a training area as well as an area to test out new releases. And hey, if you enjoyed this interview, please like and subscribe. Also, head on over to healthcareittoday.com where you can find more great content like this. I'm Colin Hung. Thanks for being here, and I'll catch you on the next video.